Yo, the man whose casino tried to kill for winnings. Like, comment, subscribe, grind 100k. Grind never stops, journey to 1 million.
Everyone in the casino is watching. They're cheering him on, and he's loving every second of it. The pit boss, however, is not happy. Tell the dealer to shuffle up and send a woman over to distract him. They've got a serious problem on their hands, but they can't backroom an innocent drunk in front of all of these onlookers. He's just won another $3,000. He's playing a dangerous game. If he carries on, the consequences will be fatal. But who is this guy, and how is he winning so much? At just 34 years old, a vice president of the Pacific Stock Exchange is delusioned and fed up. On the surface, he appears to be living the dream. With a lucrative salary of $50,000 a year, he's in the top 1% of American earners. You see, in 1969, it's big money, and the average house price is around $25,000. He's well connected, driven, and intensely intelligent. With an IQ in the 160s, he entered Yale at 16 and followed up with a Harvard MBA. Numbers are his passion. For years, he's been following the rules. Study, get married, have a family, work hard, and pay lots of taxes. Lots and lots of taxes. But beneath the polished exterior, he's actually quite rebellious. He knows he's living a life that's been scripted by others. He's looking for something new, something better, a different path away from the suffocating confines of corporate 9-to-5 life. By chance, he stumbles across a book about blackjack written by a math professor. You can see our video about the professor linked in the description. The book fascinates him, and for a very good reason. You see, it outlines a math-based strategy that allows the player to beat the casino and stack the odds in their favour. At the time, many are sceptical, but to our corporate misfit, it immediately makes sense. It claims that by counting cards that have been played, the player can use math to win. The book is called Beat the Dealer. Could it be the change he's looking for? Potentially, it could give him the life that he really craves. And of course, a massive payday. Between a busy corporate life and a young family, our man, Ken, starts to practice his skills. At first, it's purely an intellectual thing. He likes the numbers game and doesn't intend to play for real money. However, he's deeply unhappy with his model life, and his skills are growing. When a friend invites him to a private poker game where he meets another card counter by the name of Al Francesco, everything changes. The pair hit it off in a big way almost instantly, and when Francesco reveals he plays as part of a team, Ken wants in. And it doesn't stop there. He starts to obsess over card counting. He's fully committed, and while it massively increases his chances of success, it creates drama in his personal life. Ken's wife can barely take it. Following an intense period, he does something out of character. He walks out of their suburban San Francisco home, leaving his entire family behind. He's left them for a new family. A family with 7 members. A family that are crazy about cards. The rules on the team are simple. No showboating, no risk-taking, no boozing, no drugs. The whole purpose of their setup is to take as much money away from the casino without creating fuss or engaging in risky business. There's a lot more going on here than just counting cards, because Ken needs to learn how the casinos operate too. They don't like savvy players, and they'll do anything to stop them. Breaking the team's rules will put everyone at risk. Before Ken can play in the casino for real money, he has to learn how to perform under pressure. Initially, he's not up to scratch, but several of the team members agree. This guy is exactly what they're looking for. He has an impressive mathematical history and an intense intellect that burns bright when talking about beating the casino. Card counting is about understanding which cards are left within a deck. By remembering which cards have already been revealed and assigning a score to them, counters are able to gauge the probability of the next hand. The casino dealer has to hit on any total up to 16. If they exceed 21, they go bust, and counters want that to happen. So if lower cards are left in the deck, it's not ideal for the player. On the flip side, it's good if the remaining cards have higher values, because the dealer is more likely to bust, meaning that they will win. Simply put, if high cards remain, then the player should bet big, and if low cards remain, they should bet smaller. But the only problem is, adjusting stakes a lot and then winning consistently raises suspicion amongst casino staff. And this is where the team's betting strategy comes into play. With the team bringing Ken into the fold, they launch their effort into an intense training schedule. He's getting the fast track to casino success. Together, between them, the team has years of casino experience. Not only do they know how to beat blackjack, but they know how the staff think how the floor managers behave, and what the pit bosses watch out for. Ken is loving every second of it, and his expectations are set even higher than the team's. He plans to become the team's best player, and nobody's more critical than himself. He needs to be able to count down an entire deck quickly, without distractions and without looking like he's using the strategy. During their training masterminds, they set up a mock blackjack table and have others ask him questions, break the flow of play, and even have a beautiful woman sit on his lap. They're all real problems that he will face in a real casino. To keep the count, he must memorise the cards as they're dealt out. 7, 8 and 9 are neutral with a value of 0. High cards are -1 and low cards are +1. The higher the count goes, the more he should bet. If it should reach more than +10, he's maximum staking. After weeks and months of practice, his work at the stock exchange is suffering, but he doesn't care. Finally, he's ready to hit the casinos with Francesco's team for the first time. Halfway through 1974, he boards a flight to Reno. For the weekend, he'll be operating as part of the team. It's how they plan to avoid being detected. To avoid casino staff noticing them as counters, they'll hide their betting patterns by mixing play between multiple players. For example, Ron and Al might be playing for low stakes at 2 different blackjack tables in the casino. Their purpose isn't to win money, it's to keep the count at their respective table. They won't raise or lower their stakes to deliberately avoid suspicion. However, when the count is high and the deck is hot, they'll use a secret hand signal to call in a big player. For this visit, that's Ken. The big player will stagger across the casino floor, giving the impression that they are at least partly drunk. The main difference being, they only bet big. On the outside, it appears that a drunken high roller has sauntered in, sat at a blackjack table, and then got lucky. After winning, they get up and move on to the next table, where another member of the team is signaling another hot deck, and so continues. Their first weekend in the casino is a lot of fun. Finally, Ken is beating the establishment. He's escaped the mundane grind of the corporate world. It's a real buzz, and his share of the profit is at $5,000, equivalent to $31,000 in today's money. Better still, the casino's floor manager has just approached him. He's been given a luxury suite and full hospitality package in their accompanying hotel. How greedy can they be? Clearly, the casino have identified him as a drunken stockbroker playing for higher stakes, which he is, albeit one that's counting cards. They assume that his winnings are a product of luck. By keeping him gambling for a longer period of time, they suspect to win their money back, and more. This evening is a huge turning point in Ken's life. The team party into the small hours back in the casino's hospitality suite before jumping on a return flight on Sunday. Before long, Al, Ken and the team are repeatedly hitting Las Vegas too. Pocketing $50,000 profit for 2 nights work becomes quite normal. Wagering $100 per hand soon becomes a thing of the past. They're now betting $1,000 a hand on a regular basis. Despite the team's deception tactics, it's drawing attention of the wrong kind. It's a real problem. The kind of problem that could lead to a significant danger. But Ken couldn't care less. He's living the dream. He's becoming a celebrity.
He's living the high roller life.
Regulars, fine dining, penthouse suites, and premium tickets to the biggest shows, as well as young women and stacks of money to go with it. Women no longer look at him as some sort of geek. He's actually pretty cool and quite appealing. To avoid further scrutiny, he claims that he needs to play the part, which means a little showing off, drinking and partying. The casino lap it up, thinking he's a real sucker, and it feels great. But in reality, the wheels are about to come off. Eventually, the casino are going to work it out, and when they do, it's not going to be pretty. After a long hot summer in Nevada, Ken is thinking about his next move. He's rejected many of society's restrictions, left his wife, and things have never been better. Finally, he feels like the man he was born to be. He thrives in the spotlight, and Vegas is becoming his new home. Against his friend's advice,
Bro should have left when he got in.
He
was already
his job at the stock exchange. He's free to wear what he likes and do what he wants. With no boardroom meetings, high-level executives, or bureaucracy hanging over him, he totally changes his appearance. He's pursuing his casino obsession full-time, and he wants to drastically increase his profits. One night, the team are on fire. With multiple members scattered throughout the casino, Ken is busy placing $3,000 bets at one table. But as he plays, he catches a signal from another team member at a different table. At this point, the team is large, with counters stationed at multiple tables all around the casino.
Dude, that's crazy.
Ron Carr signals that the debt is incredibly favourable where it's sat. but Ken is busy playing.
I hope they didn't keep going to the same casino.
He does next is quite frankly ridiculous. He asks the casino's floor manager to place bets for him at the other table. His ego has just jeopardized the secrecy of the... What he does next is quite frankly ridiculous. He asks the casino's floor manager to place bets for him at the other table.
Ain't no way.
His ego has just jeopardized the secrecy of the entire team, and quite rightly, they're furious. They've got a good thing going on here. And
What's he doing? This is
he's
too...
risking it all. Unsurprisingly, the bets win, and sheepishly, the casino manager returns to Ken's side with his winnings from the other tables. In total, the team clear $100,000 profit that night alone, and over the first 8 months of the year, they've banked more than $1 million. But Al is not happy, and neither are the others. Ken's repeated rule breaking is getting out of hand, and now, potentially, the casino has an opportunity to link up their operation. If nothing else, the casino floor manager won't be forgetting Ken Houston. Over the following weeks, the team continue to rake in big wins, but Ken is oblivious to the amount of attention he's drawing from the establishment.
Told
His
you kept going to the same place.
initially just part of the act, is becoming more frequent and less controlled. Al's rules about no drink and no drugs have been totally disregarded.
Threw
and
that
those
out the
close to
window.
him are concerned. After several months, the casino have started noticing a pattern. The same faces seem to appear on the other tables whenever Ken is playing. From a distance, the casino begins to build a profile for the team, and just a few months after the $100,000 night, the inevitable happens. Ken is confronted by casino staff. He's now facing every card counter's worst fear, the casino backroom. The whole team have been busted. With their identities known and pictures taken, the party is over. The images will now be added to a specialist list of cheaters and unwanted customers before being circulated between all of Vegas's casinos. As a result, many of the team quit overnight. Amongst those thrown in the towel is the team's leader, Al Francesco. It's just too dangerous. The next step is surely violence, or worse. But armed with his newfound confidence, Ken Houston is having none of it. His ego won't allow it. The casino is only letting losers play, and that can't be right. It's not about the money. He has more than enough. Things have
Ain't no way.
just turned personal, and now he's waging war against the casino. A very public one. One that will make him famous and inevitably lead to the Blackjack Hall of Fame.
No way.
Of course, it all comes at a price. At 42 years old, Ken Houston launches multiple lawsuits against casinos that have barred him from playing. It's a very public affair because they total more than $80 million. It's a bold move. Newspapers all over the states begin to report on it, and suddenly, he is the big name in blackjack. The casinos, however, aren't happy. This is a terrible look for them. Casinos all over America respond by not letting him play, but he's determined, and he's seen this done before, so he starts his own blackjack team. He already has a bunch of players in mind, and the bankroll to get things started. With Harvard MBA under his belt and years of experience, it doesn't take long for things to take shape. He recruits Darryl Purpose, an ambitious youngster keen to learn, and others follow. To Ken, this is just another numbers puzzle to solve. The biggest issue will be overcoming the early burn rate that is inevitable. A new team with new players is bound to make mistakes and lose a little at first. It doesn't matter though, because in the mid to long term, probability and math are on his side. But there's one. Problem. The enforcers that run the casino security couldn't care less, and perhaps Ken has underestimated them, or what they might do. Filled with anticipation and nerves, the new team hit the casino floor, and the casino don't catch on. It's just like before, although Ken is frustrated. He feels left out. He's craving some of the attention and limelight himself. In a show of cocky defiance that only Ken could do, he steps out of the shadows one evening. Sitting at the blackjack table next to one of his new spotters, he demands a fresh hand to be dealt, and the dealer refuses, leading to further tension. Within minutes, the pit boss is at the table. Ken's had a drink, and now things are going from bad to worse. Ken hurls a mouthful of abuse and expletives at the pit boss. A very, very bad move. Casino security drag him into the back room, and this time, they're not taking photos. Moments later, Ken is fired out of a back exit into the casino's back alley. He's covered in blood. With a swollen face, broken nose, teeth, and contusion, there's Pitman limelight himself. In a show of frustrated, and the casino don't catch on. It's just like before, although Ken is frustrated. He feels left out. He's craving some of the attention and limelight himself. In a show of cocky defiance that only Ken could do, he steps out of the shadows one evening. Sitting at the blackjack table next to one of his new spotters, he demands a fresh hand to be dealt, and the dealer refuses, leading to further tension. Within minutes, the pit boss is at the table. Ken's had a drink, and now things are going from bad to worse. Ken hurls a mouthful of abuse and expletives at the pit boss. A very, very bad move. Casino security drag him into the back room, and this time, they're not taking photos. Moments later, Ken is fired out of a back exit into the casino's back alley. He's covered in blood. With a swollen face, broken nose, teeth, and contusions of the spleen, kidney, lungs, and liver. It's so bad that he lays in the fetal position on the floor for nearly an hour. He can't move. His beating has come with a message. You're lucky to be alive. There's plenty of holes in the desert that need filling. It's a chilling warning. For the first time, he's physically felt just how dangerous this game is becoming. But as fate would have it, as one door closes, another opens. And fairly quickly. 6 months after the brutal attack, Ken is back in good health. The broken bones have given him a lot of time to think about it all over an extended period. But he remains defiant. Card counting in Vegas is off limits. Although the Jersey Gaming Commission have just passed a judgment on card counting.
Finally, somebody recognized, the New Jersey Commission, that counters are not criminals, that skill at blackjack is not a criminal activity.
They specifically say that card counters must be allowed to play in casinos. It's legal. The casino's immediate response is to shuffle up so many times that it makes counting impossible. However, several months later, the New Jersey Casino Control Commission pushed through a new rule requiring casinos to play the decks out longer before shuffling. It's a profound change. A change that acts as a massive green light to Ken and all of his friends. Without hesitation, Ken stuffs his belongings into a bag and boards the next flight available. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and he knows it probably won't last forever. The popularity of blackjack explodes overnight.
Back to Vegas.
People are quite literally sharing the running count at blackjack tables as they play, and the casinos are powerless. Because of previous events, everyone knows who he is. Large crowds gather at the side of the table, cheering him on. Once more, he revels in the attention. It's hard work, but he plays marathon sessions of blackjack, sometimes for as long as 12 hours per day. But the fun only lasts for 3 weeks. On Tuesday the 30th of January, 1979, the casinos have stepped in. They're barring counters anyway, and worse still, they've started pulling strings with lawmakers. Just as Ken suspected, the casinos are in cahoots with the government. Although he doesn't care so much. He's just made $1 million in 3 weeks, equivalent to $4.3 million in today's money. It's a lavish retirement package for one of the casino world's biggest characters. Unfortunately, just 10 short years later, at the age of 52, he found dead in his Paris apartment. Official documents show his death was via natural causes, although there was much speculation at the time. Some attributed his extreme lifestyle and recreational choices to his death. Others speculated it was due to the amount of money he took from the casinos. Although one thing is for sure, Ken Houston lived a full life, a life that many dreamed of. And he certainly beat the house. So please, tap the like button down below and check out this next story.
That is crazy.
Bye, have a great time.